of Poland is a high-income, industrialized, developed market with a mixed economy that serves as the sixth largest in the European Union by nominal GDP and the fifth largest by GDP PPP. Poland boasts the extensive public services characteristic of most developed economies. Since 1988, Poland has pursued a policy of economic liberalization but retained an advanced public welfare system. This includes universal free public health care and education, extensive provisions for free public childcare, and parental leave. The country is considered by many to be a successful post-communist state. It is classified as a high-income economy by the World Bank, ranking 20th worldwide in terms of GDP PPP, 21st in terms of GDP nominal, and 21st in the 2023 Economic Complexity Index among OECD nations. Poland has a high efficiency and strong social security system. Social expenditure stood at roughly 22.7% of GDP. The largest component of Poland's economy is the service sector, 62.3%, followed by industry, 34.2%, and agriculture, 3.5%. Following the economic reform of 1989, Poland's external debt increased from $42.2 billion in 1989 to $365.2 billion in 2014. Poland shipped $224.6 billion worth of goods around the globe in 2017, while exports increased to $221.4 billion. The country's top export goods include machinery, electronic equipment, vehicles, furniture, and plastics. Poland was the only economy in the EU to avoid recession through the 2007-8 economic downturn. As of 2019, the Polish economy has been growing steadily for 28 years, a record high in the EU. This record was only surpassed by Australia in the world economy. GDP per capita at purchasing power parity has grown on average by 6% PA over the last 20 years, the highest in Central Europe. Poland's GDP has increased sevenfold since 1990. Poland 2023. GDP currently $808.6 billion. GDP per capita current $20,681.2. Poland is the largest country in Central and Eastern Europe and the sixth largest in Europe. Poland's economy has been developing steadily for over 25 years. It is the sixth largest economy in the European Union, with GDP per capita being above 70% of the EU average. The fact that Poland, as the only country in Europe that was unaffected by the 2008 to 2010 recession, testifies to its exceptionally healthy development foundations. According to the International Monetary Fund, IMF, the economy of Poland developed at a rate of 4% in 2019, much faster than the average growth rate in the Eurozone and the entire European Union, 1.2% and 1.5% respectively. Despite suffering a setback in 2020 due to the global coronavirus pandemic, Poland's economy recovered swiftly, achieving an impressive 5.7% GDP growth in 2021 and a projected 4.6% in 2022. The World Bank increased its annual GDP growth forecast for Poland to 3.0% in 2024, primarily on the back of the recovery in private consumption, but economic activity in the emerging and developing economies of Europe and Central Asia regions is likely to slow this year as a weaker global economy, tighter monetary policy, slowdown in China, and lower commodity prices weigh on the region's growth outlook, according to the economic update for this region. In the period from 1989 to 2018, Poland's GDP increased by 826.96%, and it was the best result in Europe. In 2018, Poland's economy grew by 5.1% compared to 4.8% in 2017. Economic growth in the fourth quarter of 2018 in Poland amounted to 4.9% on an annual basis, and compared to the third quarter, where GDP increased by 5.1%, it was slightly lower. During this period, investments increased by 6.7%, private consumption also increased by 4.3%, and domestic demand increased by 4.8%. The Purchasing Managers' Index, PMI, in January 2019 was 48.2 points and was higher than in December 2018 when it amounted to 47.6 points. The 2025 growth forecast for Poland remained unchanged at 3.4% compared to the bank's previous projections. Investment growth driven by structural reforms and unlocked EU funds will additionally support Polish growth in 2025. Regional growth is likely to slow to 2.8% in 2024, following substantial strengthening to 3.3% in 2023 as the economies of both Russia and war-hit Ukraine return to growth and because of a more robust recovery in Central Asia. Regional output growth is likely to remain broadly unchanged in 2025. The economic slowdown in 2023 had a limited impact on the tight labor market. Unemployment was broadly unchanged in 2023 as employers reduced working hours but were mostly reluctant to lay off workers. The unemployment rate is set to rise marginally in 2024 but remains at a historical low of close to 3% amid negative demographic trends. Employment is projected to stagnate in 2024 and 2025. Wages are expected to continue growing at a fast pace, fueled by a 20% minimum wage increase in 2024, a large salary increase in the public sector, and a historically low unemployment rate. Real wages are set to increase significantly in both 2024 and 2025. After reaching 10.9% in 2023, headline inflation is forecasted to significantly ease to 4.3% in 2024 and 4.2% in 2025. Inflation, excluding energy and food, is set to remain above 4% in 2024 as disinflation in services proceeds only very gradually amid large wage increases. Compared to the winter forecast, the projected inflation has been revised down for 2024 and 2025 and reflects lower inflation in 2024 Q1 and more gradual unfreezing of energy prices in 2024 H2. The winter forecast assumed a discontinuation of the measures to mitigate the impact of high energy prices in July 2024. The public debt amounted to 49.6% of GDP in 2023. It is projected to increase to 53.7% of GDP in 2024 and reach 57.7% of GDP in 2025. The growth of public debt is driven by the high deficits and stock flow adjustments related to the timing of defense investments. Is Poland's economy the next hope for Europe's economy? What do you think?